Hi everybody, this is Diane and I am here to show you the final Christmas journal from my workshop for this year. And this is journal number 9. I can't believe I made so many journals. But I've loved every one of them. They've all been totally different styles, different looks, different feels to them, and I love them all. And this one, I love the way this cover looks and feels. This is actually made with a plain book. It was just a plain, like this color book. And I printed out Elsie Bell's bookshelf, her digital kit, Christmas Cocoa. And I selected this piece to go on the front. It was a double page spread that you would fold and put in your journal. So I put this part on the front and this part on the back. There was just a little bit of space, like about a quarter of an inch. And I could have, put this in the middle and it just had a tiny bit at the top and bottom, but I thought to add a little bit more pizzazz, I would move it all the way up to the top and then add this green polka dot fabric, which I edge punched with just a scallop. And then I added this Tim Holtz book plate, which I think really sets it off nicely. And it's Mod Podged. The paper is Mod Podged on, and it just has a really nice feel to it. It's a matte finish. I just used plain coffee dyed cotton fabric on the spine. I didn't want print competing with this. And then I added this green rickrack, which I think just really makes the cover. And then after I sewed the signatures in, I added this burlap with the crochet trim. I got this at Hobby Lobby. There are 3 signatures. And I used, in addition to the Christmas Cocoa, I also used her Christmas Cookies kit. And I used all the pages in this book. And there's a lot of ephemera, especially with the Christmas cookies, and you get 2 free sheets of embellishments after you order it. Then she emails you an additional two sheets, and there were a lot of tabs and things, just all kinds of stuff. And I used most of it. I have this much left, which I am going to send along with this journal so that whoever gets this journal can use these pieces. There's quite a few tabs here, little button. They can use these pieces in the book. That's all I have left. So let's just take a look. I put some plaid paper on the inside, on the end paper. This is one of the journaling cards. I just used that as a book plate and added this little label. Here's one of the Christmas Cocoa. I alternated the cocoa and the cookies papers. This is some coffee dyed crocheted trim. Isn't that so fun? I love cocoa. And I love cookies. The cookies set has the lined paper for the back, so I did use those. I think there's 3 different ones, 3 or 4, and I used them on the backs of all the pages. This is just coffee dyed paper, and here's one of the embellishments. I don't remember which embellishments go with which set for the most part, but it looks like an envelope with a bow on it. It was probably supposed to go the other way, so that would look like a little pull tab or something for the envelope. But I put it on this way and glued it on as a tuck spot, added another label at the top. I know this came with the cookie set because I think it's a German tin of cookies. And I inked the backs of all of these pieces. And of course that came with the cocoa set. Isn't that adorable? You can see the steam coming off the cocoa. I did a little stamping. I have this Stampin' Up! Little gingerbread man. I used him on quite a few pages in here. I love this, the gingerbread house. And there's a envelope and gingerbread cookie, and it's just beautiful. This one has a tab and with some trim on it. And here's one of the lined pages. For the flips, I used the same thing in each signature. This kind of pinkish red stripe, kind of reminded me of candy canes, and this gorgeous lace. And I used this in each signature. And then I just put a different trim across the top in each one. I used an avocado dyed paper in each signature because there are some pinks in the kit. So I just added that in. And then that says hot cocoa. This one has some whipped cream on top. Here's a page from a vintage Christmas recipe book, and it also has some fun information in here. So this is talking about using plants and greenery to deck the halls. And this is just a strip of fabric that I got from, oh my gosh, I knew it just a minute ago. Oh goodness, Diane. I got lots of fabric strips from her, and she sent me some out of the goodness of her heart. She sent me some when I was making my chocolate journal. This one has a little recipe on it. This came from the same strip. It was a wide strip. So this is half of it and this is half of it. Hopefully I'll remember the name of that shop. That's ridiculous. This is a little tidbit about Santa's elves, and then there's a something casserole for mischievous elves. Here's a plate of cookies and a journal card. And my stamp. I also have a stamp. This came with the gingerbread man in the Stampin' Up! Set, and it's peppermints. And there's a candy cane. That's from a different Stampin' Up! Set. The Christmas Cocoa set has a envelope, and the Christmas Cookie set has an envelope. So I printed two of the cookie ones. This is it. I inked in here. Looks like gingerbread with sugar sprinkled all over it. And then I just took a copy dyed index card, large index card, and cut it down to fit and just decorated it a little bit. Here's just a little couple of the pieces from her kit. Again, I used one of her cards as a pocket, and she had I think 4 or 5 of these really cool shaped tabs. So for this one I just glued it to the top of a journaling card, and then there's I think 6 or 8 of these tags that come with the Cocoa set. I just sewed some seam binding to the top. Love that gingerbread house. There's some more of the gingerbread men. And then I made a pocket in each signature out of this vintage lace. Put on a bulb pin that has a button and a little disc that has a word. This one says faith. And in the pocket, I just put some of the cards and tags from the kit. Second signature. This is one of the embellishments from the kit. I fussy cut it and glued it to some green cardstock. And this is a tab and a button that were separate, and I glued them to the top of this tag. Added a little piece of fabric there. I didn't do any actual sewing in the book except for sewing on the trims and the fabric flips. All the pockets are glued in this one. And normally, you know, I would do a lot more sewing in most of my journals, but I glued in this one. But I did do sewing for the fabrics and laces. Here's another old stamp that I have. I love that. Another tab up here. There's one of her lined papers. Again, it looks like coarse sugar sprinkled on there. Look at that pretty pink lace. Love that. This kit is so lovely. I believe I put this page in upside down. Doesn't matter much because of the images. It's hard to tell. A little collage of elements. This is a page from a book that was, it was about the Saturday Evening Post Christmas edition, so it had old artwork, vintage artwork, and vintage ads in it. And this page was coffee, so I thought that went well with the cookies. This looks like they're cleaning up from New Year's party. This is one of the elements from the kit. I just glued it there, so you can write a little bit of information there. I thought maybe you'd cover this, maybe, because it's New Year's, with something, and then you could write here about the photos or whatever you put over there. Here's a little group of carolers who like to be invited in for cocoa and cookies after they sing. There's the Gingerbread Boys again, and another index card to go in this envelope. This is the one from the cocoa set. See the cup of cocoa there? It does have cookies on it too, though. Another little bit of a collage. This is one of her elements, and this is just a scrap of scrapbook paper. And, well, is that the one I thought was upside down? Because it's not. This one isn't. Okay, so there's another pocket. I glued this card to a plaid cardstock and put in a couple more of her pieces. I hope I'm not going too slow. I just wanted to take my time with it. Here's the coffee being poured and the Christmas decorations. It's A&P coffee. This one has a little knit cap there. And looks like a scarf or something. Maybe some mittens, I can't tell, but it's a pretty green color. There's a piece of lace, and this one says peace. I didn't want to cover up much of the paper, so I thought with the lace you can still kind of see parts of it through the lace. This is one of my favorite pages. This is one of her cards, and these were little tidbits that she had, so I fussy cut them out and kind of glued them on there to make it look like the mittens are holding the cup of cocoa. And then I added these long skinny tags. I inked around them, and you can write something up in this little box like favorite cookies or something, and just write here the cookies or treats or Christmas carols or whatever you want to write in there that you like, that you enjoy, that are your traditions or something. Or you could just write traditions up here and just write about different traditions you have on those little stick tags. There's another fabric tab with some vintage lace. I would say antique lace probably. And the last of these flips. There's another piece of this fabric strip. And a little collage, a couple of her elements, and a piece of lace. This is one of her elements, and this tab is one of her elements. I just glued everything together on that page. And the last envelope, looks like it got glued shut. And there's a little collage on that. This page had a tear in the corner, so I just glued this down. I didn't make it a tuck spot, and this is, again, a cookie tin or a cocoa tin or something. Love it. This is one of her elements, and I just stamped my peppermint candies around the little chain. There's a postcard that comes with the kit, and I put it on as a pocket. This is a little article about plum puddings from that recipe book. I love that recipe book, and I think I used used the last of the pages in this book. I've used them in quite a few of the books I've made this year. It was called Santa in My Kitchen. It was so cute. I think this is one of her elements. It just has a little, it looks like a Christmas card greeting, and then this is a cookie or something. I don't know, maybe it's pine cone. It's got a ribbon on it. And a couple of her cards, and I just put a little piece of fabric on that one. Here's that quote from John Greenleaf Whittier that I had in a couple of the other journals. And then the last circle says story. This is very similar to the images that are on the cover. And then I took a library pocket that I had, and I added this image. It was another cookie tin, which it just fit on there so perfectly. And I just took this strip of leftover paper that I had edge punched for the previous journal, and I just cut it to fit there. I'm sorry, I don't know why I can't talk. And then this library card is also part of the kit, so I put it in there. And there we have it. This is going to be called Cocoa and Cookies in my shop, and it will be there by the time the video goes up. So thank you for watching. I don't know if you watched all 9 of my Christmas journals. I think 2 of them might have been in one video. The fabric one was with the little notebook one, I think. But if you did watch all of them, thank you very much. And even if you only watched 1 or 2, I still thank you very much for watching. And I am not sure what's next on the docket, but I'll have something other than Christmas coming up next. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Bye-bye.